Greetings, DWD Crew. Today, we are going to dive into one of the most contentious and hotly debated issues when it comes to planning a Disney trip, the Disney dining plan. Do you get it? Do you not get it? What do you do with it? What do you not do with it? Disney is betting you won't do the math. They want you to trade a $7 snack credit for a $4 bottle of water. But today, we're going to help you beat the house, and we want to make sure that you get the most value. So today, DWD Crew, we are declassifying the Disney dining plan. On today's DWD episode of the dining plan, today's objective: getting maximum value from the Disney dining plan. There's lots of stuff out there, but we're going to break it down, what you need to do, give you perfect examples of where to use it. So for the uninitiated, you're planning, you've never heard of this, what is it? The dining plan is a prepaid meal package. You basically get credits for quick service meals, table service meals, and snacks. We're going to cover the main kind of standard dining plan. Okay. There's two. There's a quick service plan. There's a table service plan, but that includes quick service and table service credits. We're going to cover the big one, the one that includes snacks, table service credits, and quick service credits. Here's the hard truth. Most people lose money on this. The new 2026 price for the standard plan, you're looking at almost $100, $98.59 per adult per day. Okay. That means if you want to break even, you've got to eat about $99 worth of food every day, rounded up to $100. And so if you don't have a strategy to do this, you are basically donating cash to Disney. I don't think they really need your donation. So, and it wasn't always, though, like this. So, first, the dining plan actually launched in 2005, and it was part of the Magic Your Way program. So what was the point of it? The point really was total containment. So Disney wanted to essentially build a wall around the place, right? Stop you from spending money at off-site restaurants. And so back in the early days, the plan was actually a legitimate steal. It used to include appetizers, and it included the gratuity, the tip. Today, it does not include the tip. Well, worth mentioning. So it was designed to get you really hooked on staying on property, but over time, they started cutting portions of the plan. So appetizers vanished from the standard plan, tips vanished from the standard plan. When I used to go years ago, you had two quick service, or you had two snack credits every day. Now you have one. So you have one quick service, you have one table service credit, and you have one snack credit. So gradually things got stripped away. And so today it's not a discount program anymore. It's more of a psychological tool, really to make you kind of feel like you're at an all-inclusive place. And quite honestly, I've done it a lot of times. So because I kind of like that feeling. But you've got to work hard to beat it. And that's pretty much what we have done over the years. Okay, so how do you beat the plan? Well, first, here's the strategy. You kind of have to ignore some instincts here when you first start. And that is, you actually should consider getting some groceries. Now, that seems strange. Why would I say get groceries if you're going to get the dining plan? I don't mean load up on groceries. What I mean is get some basic staples and some small breakfast items that you can kind of grab and go. So things like yogurt, some bread you can toast in your room or something like that. Small fruit, apples, bananas. Sometimes fruit is kind of actually in short supply in Disney, I found. So things like that, some milk, some cereal. right? Why? Because a lot of people use their credits for breakfast items. Now, and breakfast is traditionally the cheapest meal of the day. So swapping a credit for eggs and toast is a bad exchange rate. And you're going to be eating breakfast no matter what, whether you get the dining plan or not. So why use the dining plan for things that are relatively cheap? There's an exception to this, and that is character dining, because character dining is always a good way to max out your dining plan credits and get the most value for them. But if you're not doing that, in the morning at least, then get something quick. I mean, the best breakfast in Disney World is Boma, in our opinion, but it's also not that expensive. So it's not worth using it. I would rather pay out of pocket there than use a dining plan credit on it. Okay. So that being said, use get the quick breakfast options for you in your room and kind of just snack on those before you go to the park, unless you have a character breakfast planned. Okay. So the general rules of engagement here. What's the price floor? Your quick service lunch has got to cost close to $30. Okay, so if you're using quick service, if you're using it for lunch or using it for dinner, sometimes what you might do is use a table service credit for a character meal in the morning, a breakfast. Then you can use your quick service credit for dinner at a good place. There's a good way to do that, okay? That's an option. But regardless, if you use it for lunch or dinner, it's got to cost at least $30. You've got your entree plus you're allowed an alcoholic drink. If you're not drinking alcohol, then get the specialty drink that's on the menu. They'll always have like a specialty drink available that's non-alcoholic, and it's more expensive than the regular one. That's what you want, because you've got to make sure you get that kind of hit that price point. Your table service credit dinner has got to be over $62. Okay. So you've got it comes with a dessert, alcoholic drink, or specialty drink, and your entree. That's your table service credit. So you need to pick items that's going to rack up the bill, basically. Okay. So your snack, you want to aim generally for over $7 to be safe with these price increases. That's what I'd be looking at. Used to be 6, used to be 5, actually. Then it went to 6. It's like $6.50. Now I'd say over $7. Okay. So hydration rules here. Don't waste snack credits on bottles of water, because yes, they are covered as a snack credit. Bring a refillable water bottle to the park. Okay. Because there are water bottle filling stations that you can just refill there. You can bring your own, or when you do the dining plan, you get a little mug. It's very small though nowadays. So I mean, you can refill that at the park, but or bring your own refillable bottle. Don't use it for something like that, for a bottle of water. For the alcohol factor here, to hit the $30 like quick service target or any of the table service targets, you've got to get a specialty drink. So either get the specialty non-alcoholic drink or get an alcoholic drink. Right? If you just get like a burger and a Coke, you're not going to hit that dollar value. Okay. And there's also something that you want to avoid, which is a 2-credit trap. The signature dining restaurants require 2 table service credits at Disney. And so generally, the exchange rate is bad. Why? Because your bill per person has really got to be like up into the $120 some odd dollar range. And most signature dining places are actually not going to get that high for an individual. The only exception I would say is actually Cinderella's Royal Table, where using the two dining credits for that place actually is a decent value. Okay, so those are the general rules you have to stick to. We're going to give you some sample places to go at every single Disney World Florida location. So, ready? Okay, here we go. I would say best quick service location here to use your quick service credit is Deluxe Burger. You can also order ahead if you want to skip the line. Mobile order this on your Disney app, your Disney Experience app. They have incredible smash burgers. Their high quality fries are excellent. Now, at Disney Springs, Polite Pig is also good. The barbecue platter costs 2 quick service credits. I mean, you can share that with somebody else, so there's that. But I would say quick service credit deluxe is amazing. It's a great value. It's a go-to. But table service credit, what about that? I would say don't use one at Disney Springs because the best restaurants here generally, I would say, require 2 credits. Not all of them, but most of the best ones require 2. Unless you're getting lunch, those ones you can use a single credit for lunch. But again, it's kind of a decision you have to make if there's restaurants you really want to eat at Disney Springs and are worth using the credits or not. Okay. Now, Epcot. Really, Epcot, almost you want to go always when there's a festival running. So to not hit a festival, you got to kind of try not to hit a festival because there's 4 of them, right, for every season. So there's almost always one running. And what you're going to do here is, I would say, use snack credits at festival food booths. So for lunch, let's say, look for anything over $7. Most of the options at the food trucks during festivals will be well over that. You'll get like $8, $9, $10 options, and you can use a snack credit for that. So it turns your snack credits into like tapas style lunches, right? There's also the bakeries in the French pavilions that you can go to in Epcot, for breakfast items. That's the exception, but again, then you're trading the breakfast for a lunch option, which would probably be more money in most cases. Table service. A good target here is Garden Grill in the Land Pavilion. It's a restaurant, slowly rotates while you eat. It's family style. All you care to enjoy. Costs roughly $60, $70 per adult. So it's an easy win for your credit. It's a character meal. And again, the character ones, because of their price, they allow you to easily get that threshold that you need for a table service credit. So they're good value. Okay. Space 220 does not accept the dining plan. So no, right? Pick a spot. If you don't want to go to Garden Grill, then pick someplace else. There's lots of other restaurants at Epcot, Beer Garden, San Angel in Mexico, the Via Napoli in Italy, but standard entrees are $30, $35. You've got to get a cocktail. You got to get a dessert to get up over $60. So just remember that. Think about, you need to hit that mark in terms of getting the most for your meals. Animal Kingdom. Quick service, best food on property there is Satu'li Canteen in Pandora. Fresh food, it's great. Expensive enough to justify the credit. And you get the drink as well, the specialty drink or the alcoholic drink with it. You should hit your mark there. Backups there that are good: Flame Tree Barbecue, conventional smoked food. It's good barbecue food. A good snack, as an example here, the Night Blossom, Pongu Pongu. It hovers at the price target that we need it to be, and it's a really good snack, okay? And use of the credit. Table service credit, that's a good value at Animal Kingdom. Tusker House, again, it's a buffet. Guarantees you're going to hit the price mark. It's a character meal. You get FaceTime with the characters, no line. Hollywood Studios. Quick service option here, Docking Bay 7, Galaxy's Edge. I'd say that's a top target for quick service. It's really good. Backlot Express, maybe if you just want burgers, but you can still get close to your mark there as well. So, but Docking Bay 7, you'll definitely hit it. Snack, you can get some specialty popcorns if you want. That will get you to where you need to be. The funnel cake, though, by the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, Epic Eats there is fantastic. Those funnel cakes are expensive enough. They'll hit the mark. Table service. Okay. You've got really, I would say, 2 options here. One better value than the other, Hollywood and Vine. Again, buffet with characters. but you can also get the Fantasmic dining package, right, which gets you VIP seats for the fireworks. You can do this for Hollywood and Vine. You can think about doing a breakfast option with them, or you can do one. You can do the dinner. Alternatively, Roundup Rodeo barbecues, another great single table service credit. Magic Kingdom table service. Okay, so think about what you could do for Magic Kingdom. Is you could do Chef Mickey's, let's say, at Contemporary Resort as a breakfast table service credit. Okay, then get a quick service in Magic Kingdom for dinner. That's an option. You could do that at any park, really, if you want to do Topolino's Terrace, or you want to do any kind of breakfast buffet that has characters outside at one of the other resorts, and then go to the parks. I mean, that's also an option too, especially if you have little ones. Exception if you got 2 credits to burn at this point at the table service, then book Cinderella's Royal Table. But you have to do that. Make sure you get that in advance, because highly desired place. Crystal Palace has Winnie the Pooh characters, another decent value. They allow you to hit your mark. Skipper Canteen, good adventurous food for a table service credit. Quick service, the best one here in Magic Kingdom, Columbia Harbor House still. If you don't like seafood, then I would say maybe Cosmic Rays is an alternative. Snack, here the I Lava You float. I love that one. It's going to hit your mark in terms of value for the dining plan, so it's good. Gaston's Tavern also has some sweet and savory snacks that will hit your mark in terms of value. Okay, so those are some samples for how you could spend those dining credits. Is it worth it? I'd say yes, if you're going to eat. If you're not a big eater, don't do it. You're going to lose money. There's no point. If you're not someone who likes to eat, let's say, steak, which is one of the easiest ways to hit your mark at every restaurant that's not a buffet, don't do it. If you're not going to do a lot of character meals, don't do it. If you're not someone who's going to, if you're going to want to do the signature dining restaurants at Disney, don't do the dining plan. If you're going to do character meals, if you're going to eat, you like to eat, if you know you're going to get the alcoholic drinks too, if you like steak at your non-buffet places, do the dining plan. You'll like it. Okay? So it's really, if you really want a kind of all-inclusive feel, right? But remember, there's an opportunity cost too, because compare the free food options. Like, let's say if dining plan is offered as a deal in January, it's usually in the beginning of the year when Disney offers free dining as part of a promotion. If you're going to do that, compare it against a room discount first, because Disney also offers room discounts. And depending on the room and the value of the discount, the dining plan might not be as good of a deal as getting the room discount, because you often can't combine these promotions. So think about that too. But if you choose the plan, stick to the price floor. Buy your own small breakfasts, get the expensive cocktails and meals. You'll beat the house. All right, so that's it for today. Remember, we'll see you in the parks. But you won't see us. DWD out.